So do we start?
Do we have to
Sure,
intro
sure.
them?
Yousef. Oh,
I'm not. You do it.
he
You're-
seems to have still been recording.
Yeah. Yeah.
You sneaky prick. Okay, someone go.
It's your
I
week,
can
Ben,
do it.
so you can.
I really like this movie. Thank you. Someone win.
Okay,
Hello and
I didn't
welcome.
have an intro, so I'm going to just completely wing it. All right,
Hello and welcome to our wonderful world of promising young women.
There we go.
I'm going to use that. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Council's wonderful review and the world of Promising Young Woman. This film is the moment. This film is everything that the world needs. It's what we need, but not what we deserve. This film is quite literally transcendent. So we're going to be reviewing this film for you, not in the podcast, in a special review because we love you and we need you to know how good this movie is. And all of the council members with taste are here because these are all the council members who have watched the film. So Sohail and Yousef, you guys aren't here. Why? That's on you. So we're going to start off with our initial thoughts of the film. We're going to talk about it, what we think the future could be for the talent involved, the Oscar speculation. You know, we're just going to go straight into it. We're going to go into it with Natalia's amazing thoughts on the film. Natalia, why don't you go?
Okay,
This
first,
movie-
sorry. No spoilers until the very end. Okay? So start with initial thoughts and then we'll get to spoilers.
This movie was so cathartic. It was hello. It was so cathartic. It was so great to see her just fucking all these men up. It was amazing. It was just like boom, 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 and just it was so good. Oh, it was so good. Hannah watched it like 2 days before me, and I didn't know that. And then I watched it, and I was like, she came during the end, and I was like gasping from my laptop, and she kept making faces to me. But like, it was so good. Oh my god, it was just like I don't know how to say it without spoilers, but it was just, I think the word that I really can describe it is just cathartic. Because, you know, men. I'm not even just saying that as a lesbian. I'm just saying that as a woman. A little bit of both. It was
But we need to say this though. A lot of films will be like, you can very much tell that they have an agenda that they want to put across. Like, let's say Black Christmas 2019, very much a heavy-handed. Aren't men just the worst? And isn't Twitter just the best when it comes to its commentary about men and rape culture? This film is thoughtful. It's brilliant. It's meticulously crafted. It says all the right things. I would put it on Assassination Nation's level of dissecting modern culture and adding like stuff to it. I would put it on that level. Assassination Nation, modern masterpiece. So I'm not going to go now. I suppose I may as well actually say I'm going to go now. Promising Young Woman is just, my God, like Carrie Mulligan. Here's the thing. I've been looking at this movie because it's a Margot Robbie thing, as you can tell. Bit of a Margot Robbie stan here. I enjoy her work. I enjoy her producing work. Tonya, very inspiring movie to me. That was very good. But this is by far and away her best product yet. It is very, very good. Carrie Mulligan, I told this to the council, and I told this to a few other people on Twitter. Well, her role in this film is going to go down in history as one of the most iconic roles for women ever. And I would say it's on par with Uma Thurman's Kill Bill. And I think it's such a shame it did not get to compete in a competitive marketplace, because I think it would have made a lot of money. Like, it would have been a film that would have maybe started out kind of like, I think it would have been a Get Out level event. I think this is a Get Out level film when it comes to the commentary it adds. When it looks at a specific group of people, in this case women, and in Get Out's case it was Black Americans and their lived experience, but this, it was women, and it very much told the story through their perspective. And while this is more of a revenge story in a beautiful, crazy, insane way, I thought this film, I just lost my train of thought. But basically the point is, watch the movie. It's getting a screenplay nomination. It's crawling its way up the polls on Gold Derby to that picture nomination. It's so close to the director nomination. Let's hope she knocks Regina King out, because let's face it, Emerald Fennell did a better job. Yeah, sorry guys. Let's hope she knocks Aaron Sorkin out of there, because it's what he deserves. He's not a great director. Let's hope that Emerald Fennell gets up there. Could you imagine if she won? Could you imagine if she won? I know it's a long shot, but could you just imagine if she won? Oh, that would just be the best. Costume design, makeup, actress. This is a two-way race. It's between Carrie Mulligan, who is winning right now. Like when it comes to public conversation, I think Carrie Mulligan has the biggest edge, and Vanessa Kirby, who was like Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story, just kind of going down. Unfortunately, no one really cares about Pieces of a Woman, which is a shame because it's a very good movie. But I'm getting sidetracked. Promising Young Woman, one of the best films of, I would say, the past 5-10 years, decade. It is a great movie. I screamed. I very rarely, 1 second, Natalia, do you want to go now or will we go in 2 seconds? Okay, I very rarely have audible reactions to a movie. But for this movie, I did. And we'll tell you what that was later, but I screamed. I loved it. Natalia, the floor is yours.
I do have something to say about the film as a whole, which is it's a lot easier to make and understand this film with the lead being a white woman because there's less like blockage in her way of doing X, Y, and Z that she ends up doing. Because if it were a woman of color, it wouldn't even be a thought in their mind. So
could you imagine
yes.
Lupita Nyong'o doing this?
Yes and no.
Oh yeah.
Because it would be that much more fantastical if a woman of color would have gotten as close as she did to succeeding in doing what Carrie Mulligan's character did. I'm talking about the character. I'm not talking in terms of the actress and their talent, because Lupita Nyong'o could kill this and rip this up, yes. But sadly, we live in a racist society, and that won't fit in the realm of possibility and logic because we live in a racist society. Okay, that's my thoughts for right now.
And Natalia, with that, this is kind of interesting. It kind of takes a look at people, like say Allison Brie's character, or both. No, you know what? I'm going to save that for later. I'm going to save the thought for later. I'm going to circle back to that about nice racists. Okay, I'm going to save that thought and get back to it later. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, so if you heard our latest episode, you know that this is my favorite movie of the year. I saw it this morning. I watched it especially so I could help review it here. And I was just completely amazed by this film. The fact that this is Emerald Fennell's directorial debut, the fact that she would attempt something so bold and she pulls it off is just absolutely fantastic. What I think I really appreciated about the film, and Ben brought up the 2019 remake of Black Christmas. I think they were trying to do something where like the main character was a sexual assault victim, and they were trying to create the horrors out of that situation. And listen, I'm not going to talk about that film, but I think they were definitely misguided by the end of it, and they got too much into Twitter and stuff. But
it was an evil statue.
Yeah, but what I love about this movie, because I thought when the movie began that maybe the reason why she does this is because Cassie, played by Carrie Mulligan, herself was sexually assaulted. But the fact that it was her friend, and I won't get in too much in our non-spoiler section, I thought was very poignant because it showed how it's not the action that necessarily changes the people, it's having to live after the action. And not just you, but the other people around you. And I just found that so, like, I've never seen this type of movie done in this way, and then done so tonally like poppy, that again, it's very creative. It's very like ingenious in the way that it approaches the subject matter. I think that Carrie Mulligan gives such a breathtaking performance, and she balances all of these tones so well. One scene she's karaokeing in a pharmacy to Paris Hilton, and the next scene the camera stays on her for a very long take as she cries and sees her worst fears on a video. Like, those scenes are like back to back. It's insane. The entire cast is absolutely amazing. Allison Brie, I think this might be her best performance outside of Community. I think it's so good. Bo Burnham the movie does not work without him. He is exceptional in this film. Alfred Molina has a very small scene, but he is so good. Connie Britton, Jennifer Coolidge, Clancy Brown, going through them all. Who am I forgetting? I think that's
Chris Lowell.
Chris
Mr. Krabs,
Lowell.
yeah.
There's everybody in this movie is just amazing because
Laverne
and I
Cox.
feel like you really Laverne Cox, so good in this movie, so funny. But yeah, I think in the end, what this movie is really showing us is that people's lives really do change, and it's hard for them to go back to a sense of normalcy. So, and I love the ending and what it says about like the truth. The worst thing isn't the action itself; it's having to live in a world where you're defined by that action. And that's why I love the ending. I think, Ben, I would love if Carrie Mulligan was as high on the best actress leading charts. I think unfortunately it will come down to to Frances McDormand and Viola Davis. But in my mind, Carrie Mulligan should win this hands down. It is such a unique performance. It is just absolutely amazing. And you know what? I hope it can, it can get the support it needs. I don't know why they didn't put it. I mean, if Get Out is a comedy, I don't know why this can't be, but they put it in drama for the Golden Globes, which I think is a mistake. But we'll see. Please see this movie. It's one of the most unique films I've seen in a very long time, and it's just amazing. I cannot wait to see more of Emerald Fennell's work and also more of Carrie Mulligan, who I think this is going to be a real great moment for her to finally get into the pop cultural zeitgeist and shine. So yeah.
Well, Antony, first off, I just have to say you're wrong. That was the case a month ago. Frances McDormand versus Viola Davis. Viola Davis, there's no way she's winning. She's basically a supporting character in that movie. There's no way, and all of her hype is gone. But all I'm saying is, I think Carrie Mulligan could climb up. I think people think Zendaya, but I think Zendaya being nominated is going to be like a Timothy Chalamet. It's going to be like, welcome to the club. You're going to win in about a few years. But it's Vanessa Kirby, Frances McDormand, or Carrie Mulligan.
All I'm saying is that you see commonly when you have guaranteed Oscar wins in other categories, like, because we know Ma Rainey's winning costume design and makeup. And so if people are thinking of Viola Davis when they're voting for those wins, it's very likely she could win Best Actress. I'm not saying that's who I want to win. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I wouldn't throw them out because I think it's the Gary Oldman thing. I'm definitely voting for this, and I have it in mind while I'm voting. So we'll see. Yeah. I want Carrie Mulligan to win. It's a performance we'll be talking about forever. I agree. It's one of the most iconic female performances I've seen in a while.
I hated Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I really hope it doesn't win anything, but that's besides the point. Liam, I would not.
Are we done with the tangent?
Sorry, yeah. I personally just didn't care for the movie at all. Let's just leave it at that. Liam, I would love to know your thoughts on Promising Young Woman, Promising Young Gentleman with questionable views. So go ahead.
I don't have questionable views. I have amazing
views. You like
views.
Mulan, of course you have questionable views.
And
exactly.
Aladdin.
Also, is Liam a promising young man?
Let's just say he's a young gentleman.
He's not.
He's a gentleman. Go ahead.
He's a man.
Liam, as a gentleman who's neither promising nor young, what did you think?
Fuck you all. No. This movie was just so good, so perfect. Like, I've never understood when people are like, oh, the score was fantastic. Oh, they did such a good job with the score. The score set everything off. And I'm just sitting there going, pipe down, you posy prick. I finally get why people enjoy the score of a movie after this movie. The way this movie intertwined music and the score, it felt like every song and every part of the score was like it was part of the movie, if that makes sense, rather than it just being there. It amped everything up, like,
and lack thereof nearing the end.
Yes, exactly. Like, just the whole thing was perfect. Like, I agree with everything everybody said so far. But I think for me, the score hasn't been mentioned and needs to be mentioned because it was just so perfect. We'll go off as an older person who was actually able to purchase music at the time this was released. The scene where Paris Hilton is played. Paris Hilton. Who knew someone was going to try and bring Paris Hilton's music career back from the dead?
She tweeted about it today. Did you see the tweet?
She did.
Oh, so good.
I liked it and I retweeted it. I still listen to this song. I still have this, and I have Nothing in This World on all of my Spotify playlists. So I'm so happy that someone's trying to bring Paris Hilton's music career back because I want to listen to it more often. But yes, Carrie Mulligan, fantastic. Bo Burnham, fantastic. Jennifer Coolidge, fantastic in a non-comedic role. Who the fuck knew? Laverne Cox, again, amazing.
Her
Hilarious.
laugh when she left the oh, that's so cute.
Just everything about this film was phenomenal. Like, and for something with such like, I don't want to say dark because it's not dark, but like something, it's such a touchy and taboo subject that no one ever really wants people either want to sexualize it or really make it overly gritty without and take away the meaning from it.
Like Bombshell.
Yes. Where I think this was just, it perfectly captures trauma. And not just the trauma of the person, it captures the trauma that lasts and lingers for not just the person it happens to, but as Antony said, the people around. And I couldn't speak more highly of this film. And that is my thoughts. Non-spoiler ones in any case, because I can't wait to speak about spoilers.
I 100% agree. Can't wait to get to the non-spoiler section. But one thing I think we should say is that this just kind of came to me. Black Christmas went really far in one direction and was just ridiculous and stupid and over the top and just not believable. Bombshell kind of was in the other direction where it didn't go far enough. I think this film is less. It's the middle ground, and it's the pendulum was finally in the right direction, and it's perfect. It has the best parts of Bombshell, and nothing from Black Christmas, but like it's still really good. It's really good.
Ben, I think Liam was kind of touching on this. I think in lesser hands, this movie would be used as a men are the problem, women are always justified. And I think Allison Brie does a major job to show how this isn't just a male problem, this is a society problem.
Not just Allison Brie.
Yeah.
Connie Britton.
Yeah.
Connie Britton as well, which I like that they casted her as the dean.
Yes, because she's such a likable person.
Yeah.
So I think as an actress, if that role hadn't have been played by such a likable person,
it would have been lesser.
You wouldn't.
Like, could you imagine if Jessica Chastain played the dean? You'd be like, oh.
Kill her daughter. I don't care. Like,
yeah.
But it's her. Well, no, because you feel it.
Yeah.
Because you've got that connection.
Allison Janney could have done that, maybe. Oh, she could have done a great job. I'm just sidetracking. Sorry. Go ahead.
But no, I definitely, it feels like everything was thought out beyond just like the way it was wrote. Like, as I said, the Connie Britton's character. Yes, there was other actresses that could have played her, but you wouldn't have had the disgust, but the empathy at the same time if it was played by somebody else.
After watching it, you can't imagine anybody else do it.
Yes.
Same thing with Carrie Mulligan. And
yes.
It's the same thing with everyone in the movie. Everyone's perfect.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you see Carrie Mulligan falling in love with Bo Burnham. You're like, okay, who couldn't fall in love with this guy? But, you know, not everything is as it seems. You know, you see Chris Lowell at his bachelor party. You're like, yeah, these guys are a bunch of dicks, but like they're the perfect dicks for this movie. You know, it's like the guy from New Girl did a great job. Oh my God, he was
Max
amazing.
Greenfield. I was
Yeah.
so like we were watching it, and so myself, Yousef, and Natalia all watched it at the same time, and we made a separate group chat, not to spoil it for others, so that we could be like, "Oh, fuck me," blah blah. And as soon as he opened the door, all I wrote was, "Oh God, no! Don't make me hate Schmidt," because I just love Schmidt from New Girl. So I was like,
Yeah.
"Please no." But then he was Schmidt from New Girl, but he was Schmidt from New Girl if he'd never met Jessica.
It was
And that-
Schmidt from New Girl if he actually existed. You know?
He does exist. Piss off.
Sorry. But also Chris Lowell. I love that guy from Glow. He's amazing. But oh my God.
I'm sorry,
like,
I don't watch Glow, so I don't know what you're talking about. I have taste.
and that's why we don't like Liam. Yousef, what did you think of Promising Young Woman?
I mean, I loved it. This was so good, and I have so much more respect for Emerald Fennell. I was a part of a Q&A, and like we'll talk about it more during the spoiler section of specifically why I respect her a lot more. But this movie was just so good, and it was so well constructed, and like I've gotten so many screeners recently, like I'm getting 2 a day. And sure, a lot of movies are well made and all that, but the difference with this is it's actually fun to watch. Like you actually want to watch it. I've seen this movie like 3 times now in its entirety, and I go back and watch specific scenes with the screener that I have. But for me, like obviously it's a very serious subject matter, right? So you're obviously not going to be like, oh, ha 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 ha, right? But what's so smart about this movie is they kind of paint it with this kind of candy color, you know, fun colors, fun music, but it has a serious subject matter that's not like it's not hitting you over the head with it. So you're kind of taking it in and without actually knowing that you're taking it in. Do you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like it's not too obvious. It's kind of subtle, which I really, really like. Also, we gotta applaud Margot Robbie because this movie could not have been better
Such a great
produced.
producer.
Which who knew we would be saying that? Because Margot Robbie cannot produce anything for the life of her if she was
Fuck you.
starring in it. Because I think she has a bit of an ego, but I think and 100% that was not well produced. Ben, let's be real with ourselves. I, Tanya, was not well
Fuck
produced.
you, it was.
Won
No, it
an
wasn't.
Oscar.
Okay,
So it did
congratulations.
something right.
What are you saying?
No,
What are you saying?
Margot Robbie was miscast. She miscast
Yes.
herself.
That's
Nope.
the problem. If
You're
I
fucking
guarantee
no, you're just
you-
copying
I
Grace. You're
guarantee
copying
you-
what Grace is saying.
No.
That's no.
Hold on.
No.
I'm gonna mute you, Ben.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
We don't need to talk about this.
Okay, hold on. I guarantee you Margot Robbie wanted to play this role. And I will applaud whoever told her not to, because I think when she focuses as just a producer, she makes decisions based on the movie and not based on herself. That was the problem with Birds of Prey. But this movie could not have been better marketed and better positioned. I mean, the release date was perfect. The rollout was perfect. The way they sent out screeners and watermarked the shit out of them was perfect. The posters, the trailers, everything was just so good. And also Margot Robbie consistently has the best soundtracks. So that's something else.
No, Margot Robbie said she initially was thinking about starring in the movie,
Of
but she
course she
ultimately
was.
decided against it.
Yeah.
But no, I think, listen, to Yousef's point, I think we should note that this movie was supposed to come out in April.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think they really did a great job with dealing with the consequences of the pandemic and still finding a way to roll the movie out. Because I don't, if this movie opens in April, I think it gets forgotten.
It would have disappeared. Yeah.
It didn't have we don't know how it would have performed, but I'm very happy that now it's going to seriously be in contention for these awards because it deserves to.
Okay, let's get into spoilers. So I want to start off first of all. Liam, you said that the songs, you said 2 things that were like spot on, which is A, the songs feel like they're a part of the story.
Okay.
she said, Emerald Fennell, that they were written into the script. They were the first thing she sent Carrie Mulligan was a playlist of all the songs. So that, like, you can tell because they were so important.
That deserves
And
a round of
also,
applause.
exactly. And the fact that all the actors are likable. She said she cast the movie based on the fact that these were fan favorites that you would not expect to do stuff like this, you know, because it's kind of, it
Chris
gives you
Lowell
that
broke
sense.
my fucking heart.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that's really good. And there's a lot more like scientific, like really well filmmaking, but let's talk about the end first because I think everybody wants to talk about that. So
I literally
I
screamed. I
just
screamed
have
at my
one
grandmother.
thing.
Go.
Sorry. It was just simply because we spoke about obviously the songs and the music. I literally was just like, as the final was coming in and she was getting out of the car,
Is it the violin of
and it was
Yeah.
Toxic?
in the instrumental of Toxic,
Yes.
and I was just like,
Oh.
is this
yeah.
this no,
I
this
think
can't
we
be.
all
have to
sent each
cool
other
down,
the same
because
text.
that was just so spicy.
when that came out.
Exactly
Spicy and
the same
delicious.
time. I was like, oh my god, that is Toxic. How can you make a Britney Spears song seem so atmospheric?
Yeah.
You knew something was happening. You knew something was going down, and it was all because of the way they made that song sound, and it was just amazing. And that really got me into the end.
I just want to applaud that they trust the audience so well, because I think this has the best twist with Bo Burnham's character of the year.
Yeah.
Maybe
I saw it coming. I will say sadly, because I just thought,
I knew from the start not to trust any man in
Did,
this
yeah.
movie.
but
And
it's
I was
because you know
fucking
the line
right,
where he says
baby.
that. The line where he says, "I still kind of talk to them, like the people in college. I still kind of talk to them." So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, he probably knew them well, and he probably maybe knew something about Nina and her story. Maybe he knew something. I didn't
But-
see it to the magnitude of what it was, but I thought maybe something goes down with him. But I
Yeah.
was just so happy she was falling in love with him. I didn't really care. But I knew something was going to happen. I knew some shit was going to go down.
Well,
and it did, folks.
That's why it was so well written. It's because you kind of go into it and you're expecting something because you see everybody's kind of in the same boat, but you go along with it just like Carrie Mulligan's character because you're like, oh, he's sweet and he's great, and then it just breaks your heart when it happens. You know, I think that's why.
But I just love that you don't see the video. You never see Nina. Like, they just trust you so much to be able, listen,
Yeah.
we know you're smart, audience member, put the pieces together. And not enough movies do that. And I love that this movie did.
Yeah.
This comes out in Irish cinemas February 12th,
Yeah.
and I cannot wait to bring my grandmother. I might even bring my mother another time. So excited to see them see this movie in all of its
Catherine?
brilliance.
Yeah. Okay.
Catherine, yes.
on the point that Anthony made with like you don't see anything. If this had been in lesser hands or a male hand,
Or a guy. Can you imagine if a guy
male,
directed this?
if this had
would be
been in a
shit.
male hand,
This would have been fetishized as hell.
fetishized, that video would have been shown.
Yeah.
You would have seen Nina.
You would have seen flashbacks and stuff.
Yeah, which would have just totally ruined this movie. And I think that helps with my point from it, where it's like it's in my head I know what I mean, but I don't know how to say it. Like,
I think we all know what you mean.
yeah, it stops it from being grotesque, if you like, with the subject matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they didn't want to over sexualize it. They wanted it
Yes.
to be very much about the trauma that you face after the fact. They didn't even use the word rape at all throughout the movie.
I really like the way that it affected Carrie Mulligan and when she interacted with everyone else and how like sparsed out it was, because for them it was like a distant memory and shit we don't want to talk about because we don't like to enter trauma. But for her, because it was so personal, it was like a constant loop, I guess you could say. And I really liked how she was able to force that out of everyone, because because this subject matter is a usually silenced one, I found it that much more profound that she was able to grab everyone by the balls and do what she did. Because like no one else is going to be able to do that because you're going to want to ignore the shit that happened. It's an understandable coping mechanism. You either ignore it and try and forget about it and distance yourself like some isolationist state in the 1950s, or there you go, that was for you, Ben. Or you let it become like an all-consuming thing that really does end up weighing you down. And I really liked how she went to everyone and kind of forced that out of them.
But I
In
also like with the point that you just made there, where it's like the two sides of it. I liked how they didn't shy away from the other side of avoiding it,
yeah,
so it doesn't consume with the fact that they went to see the Nina's mother,
yeah,
played by Molly Shannon. Who knew?
yeah.
Okay.
I really liked that part because
Yes,
it was
it
because
humanized
had to.
her. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. It felt the mother totally like you have to let that go, and she I don't think she obviously knew that she knew that she had to obviously let it go, but I don't know, hearing it from the point of a mother always hits that much harder.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to talk about two things really quick, and then let's go to the ending, so we can wrap this up. First of all, I think the cold open of the film, the very beginning, was so good. The part in the bar
Adrian Brody.
with yeah,
That's who it was.
Adam Brody.
Adam Brody.
Adam Brody.
Yeah,
The good Brody.
close enough. Yeah. But she sold the film only based on that. That's the only thing she had, like, in her
Looking
mind.
right in the
And
camera.
yeah,
Right.
That was amazing.
it was such a great reveal. It was so well done. So that scene was really good. And then also, if I had one complaint about the movie, Margot Robbie really needs to be careful on how she depicts men, because there was a lot of similarities between this and Birds of Prey, where you make
Yeah.
No.
everybody unlike.
Shut up.
I don't.
You needed
No,
at
the
least
men in Birds of Prey
one-
were like cardboard cutouts who
but they
had like
were
no
here. Okay,
depth.
I'm talking specifically about the scene where she hits the car, right? That
Yeah.
like that gave me flashbacks directly to Birds of Prey, because it was almost exactly the same. You needed to have at least one male character, and like
Alfred
we
Molina.
thought Bo Burnham.
Alfred
Yeah,
Molina.
but even him, like I get what they were trying to do, but just for audience members, you needed one person who was just.
But to
good.
be fair, no women are portrayed as being perfect either. Like I don't think Cassie is
No.
Yeah,
is,
I know.
like, I feel like like Birds of Prey is a different thing because you
Her
have
father was a great guy.
but like in Birds of Prey you have people who are defined as heroes of the
Yeah,
super
but
variety.
even
This movie doesn't portray anybody as being morally right. Like even Cassie, even though we're like fist pumping at the end,
yeah.
she's not a good person and we know that.
I totally get that, but when you have a subject matter like this, and you know you're gonna have people who are going to be against your movie, like somebody who we will not name, but who really did not like the film. Even her father was the only one who was, when she went missing, who was like, she'll probably be fine. Like, so he, you needed just one character, especially with this subject matter, who was just good. You know what I mean? Like I understand, like
No.
all the men in the beginning,
No.
all
No.
of them suck.
It makes
Everybody
it that
at
much
the bar
more
sucked.
real. It makes
But
that much more real.
Yeah, that's reality. Unfortunately,
reality.
that's reality. Like you have that good guy. They show you the good guy. The good guy is Adam Brody at the beginning.
The good guy is Bo Burnham. Like the good
Yeah.
guy is never the good guy. That's the
Exactly.
whole
Yeah,
point.
no. I know.
That is
That's the
whole
screenplay.
point.
That's the beauty. It's
Yeah.
society.
You,
It's
you
basically
have
Joker.
you have that
Like
whole
Easy,
opening
Ben.
that shows Adam Brody is a good man. He is going to do all these things. He's telling his friends like no. He's taking her home. He's doing everything right. He gets her in the taxi, and then just something switches,
Mhm.
and he just goes, "I'll try."
Yeah.
And that's reality.
And he
I
And I
also
think that is
put
the
more.
beauty of it.
I
He also
totally
put more in her glass than his. So
I know.
Yes.
that's
I
I
totally
remember
agree
that.
with that. I 100% agree with that. I'm just saying going forward with other films, Margot Robbie just needs to
don't look like
pay
more
a
of a
little
misandry.
bit more attention. Okay, let's move to the ending. The ending was so good. When I first watched it and she died, I was so upset. I was like, oh, they were so close to
Yeah.
being good. And then they saved it at the very end with Angel of the Morning. My jaw was on the floor. I was gasping. I was laughing. I was cheering. It was so
That's when I
well
screamed.
done.
Max
It was so
Greenfield
well
was
edited.
running away.
And even the scene where she died, it was so well made because she held the shot of her being suffocated for as long as it takes for an average human to suffocate. So that was really well done. She explained the fact of like why she killed Cassie because she said, it would just be kind of revenge porn if, she pulled out
Yeah.
a knife and killed him. Like it would make no sense. And if you look
I can
at
see that.
the actor who played
Yeah.
Al and you look at Carrie Mulligan, like she's not going to win a fight realistically. So I thought that was really well thought out. And I think the transition afterwards of like day to night or day to more night to
Night
day.
Night
today.
There we
to day.
go. It was really good. So bravo.
For me, I'm gonna say something here. It was, the way. So the way that the film goes, it's like you think justice will never be served. That's kind of a recurrent theme of. I think it's a very important thing about how justice is so rarely served in these situations. And I thought that that was kind of the point of the movie. And I was like, I'm so angry and upset, but that's the whole point. That's what these events actually are. Um, and so then I think the truly brilliant thing was showing us Al's wedding. The way he's getting married. He's happy. Everything's working out well for Al. As the Als of the world, it always works out for him. It's working out. He's at his wedding. He's marrying his bikini model person. Everyone's clapping. They're cheering. They're clapping. Then Bo Burnham gets a text, and then it says schedule text, and then Ben gets really happy. Ben starts screaming like, "Oh yes!" But I also have one teeny tiny small gripe with that. That's that I wish that she had sent the video like a part of that text as like one more little text. No, because it ends with like the winky thing. I wish just before that it was the video and then wink and then end. But other than that, perfect. Like, oh my god, the police come, he's arrested. It's
Well,
just brilliant.
I don't think the video needed to be sent.
Yeah, I don't
Only
think so either.
because only he got the video, or only he got the texts. Them texts weren't like to everyone. That was just he got them texts.
He
And it
already
was-
knew it existed.
And he already knew that video existed. So
Mhm.
sending
Well, I
that
know. I
video
wish
isn't going to
that
do anything.
even though he got those texts, but I wish that he'd gotten the video and then seeing as everyone at the wedding also got the video.
But
and
you
then-
can't do that
I
though,
don't-
because
yeah.
that's so I think that's taken it
With
into
that,
the
it'll
realm of
detach it that
fantasy.
much more. Yeah.
Yeah,
it'll detach
that's
it
taken
much
that
more.
into the realm of fantasy, where this was keeping it very, very real, where you can schedule a text.
I
She's
didn't know you
not
could
going
do
to
that.
have the numbers of every single person at this random wedding to be able to go, here's a mass text that I produced earlier. She only sent it to him because she had his number. She was able to send, and she knew, she planned, she had it sort, like everything down to the finer detail within reality. I think adding that in would have just made it very much like
Cartoon.
science fiction.
So because I had to think back on it when the movie ended because I was like, wait, so she meant to die? Was that the case, or was she just like,
I think it was a possibility that she was, because
'cause she
that's
says,
how you
"I'm
would
with
get justice
Nina,"
against
or
Al
no, she doesn't say, "I'm with
Monroe.
Nina," she says,
Yeah.
"From,"
I think she had it as a possible outcome, so planned.
yeah,
she
maybe
planned for
like-
everything. She planned if she would have lived, she would have carved Nina's name into him, left him tied there, and then would have gone to the lawyer, and she would have faced consequences too. But I think she would have been willing to do that.
Yeah.
Or she would have went missing. Like, who knows? Like, who knows what her plan was?
Yeah.
She had probably variables, and this is the variable that happened.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So, like, if she scheduled it so that no matter what happens, he gets it at the wedding, whether I'm living or dead.
I think she was planning to post the video. at that time. So
Okay.
either way, something would have happened at that date.
Mhm.
Um,
But yeah, it's the
Yeah.
ending is fantastic, and the music choice was great, I think. And she leaves it just enough for you to be like, are they gonna get? Is something gonna happen to them? Like,
Comeuppance.
and like they do it. It's and then the way they montage everything, like Laverne Cox finds the necklace, Alfred Molina gets the thing. Like, it's a great, like, this is what happened to everybody. It's just really. And I have a question. One last thing I want to bring up, and then I think I touched on everything. Is that I feel like so many people were talking about like the beginning scene and thinking that was the whole movie, which I thought was odd. And personally, and I think you saw this when she took the crowbar with the taillights, I felt as if those scenes were her trying to see if anybody, after this horrible thing happened to Nina and by proxy herself, she was trying to see if any man would actually do this, would actually just like take her home and like leave her be. Maybe trying to find the one person, finding the hope. And I think after Bo Burnham crushed her so much, then that was what finally like okay, there's no turning back. I'm gonna do this.
Exactly.
Because I did sense that she didn't want these guys to do. She didn't want to tally off another person in the book, but she had to. It was
Had
like
to.
a way of trying to find somebody good, and the world just kept negating what she wanted and her hopes.
Yeah. I think there was a secret meaning behind, if you notice in her book, some names were in red, some were in black, some were in blue. They said it was a secret of what that means, but there's definitely a secret meaning behind that. So I think I agree. It's like the whole thing of like, you're not defined by one mistake. So I think she just wanted to like be an example to other, like even the guy with the fedora at the end, she's like, yeah, but you better be careful, because she didn't get to do it fully, but she still kind of gave a warning of some people have scissors and some people have knives. So I think she's just trying to, instead of kill them, just kind of give them a warning of like, don't do this because it's not going to work out well for you.
I think
Yeah.
I guess with the colors is that like red means they gave her more drinks. Like blue is that they tried to give her drugs or something. Like maybe like it's the different type of methods they use to try and get her.
Maybe one or two of them let her go,
Yeah.
or actually did the
Yeah.
right thing. Who knows?
Or didn't do anything. Yeah. Final thoughts?
I feel like I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
Natalia, by the way, I loved when we were watching it and you said yes, cops, and then at the end you were
Fuck
like,
off!
no, but then at the end you were like, but they're gonna undercharge them anyway. I thought
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
so funny.
yeah. The cops showed up, and I was texting the boys, and I was like, "Yo, look, some comeuppance, the police." And then I was like, fuck, they're gonna get undercharged because they're white men. Oh, that's
Trust
what I was gonna
fund
say.
pricks never get their proper due.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, after Schmidt found Carrie Mulligan, names mean
Yeah.
nothing. After Schmidt found Carrie Mulligan up in the bed dead, and he was giving Al a pep talk, he was like, "We're not gonna let anything happen to you. Nothing's gonna happen to you because you are a white man, and nothing will happen to you because we are untouchable as white men." And you know, in the course of the film, the way that it ended, that's not the case. But in terms of how our judicial system works, that will probably end up being the case.
No,
But
not
we're
with
not-
white. Not when it happens to a white woman.
Not what it
But the
that's-
video,
But the
the
video.
murder, everything.
Yeah.
That boy's
I
being
don't
killed.
think that's what the movie's. I don't think the movie's interested in whether these guys get the right justice. I think
No.
it's that
And I'm not either.
it's like this guy will now have to live with the fact that on his wedding day he was that he had to kill somebody, that on his wedding day that he was taken away. Same thing with Max Greenfield, same thing with Bo Burnham. That I think is what the movie's saying. It's not that they get justice or not, it's that they have to live with themselves.
Yeah.
For the rest
Just
of their
like she
life.
had
And
to
I'm-
live with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna
I
say.
think
But
that-
remember the line.
We're spiraling
The
off.
line where she
Final
said-
thoughts.
No, just the thing with Antony said, the
Yeah.
line, her name should be following you around forever. Now it actually will. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually will forever. Oh shit.
Oh,
Yousef
isn't
was like, we're done. Finish the review.
isn't that a new
I used
isn't
my
that a new
power.
Ford as well?
No, it's okay. I caught it. But here's
Oh,
the
God.
thing. Like, I'm using my ring light, but the thing that's holding my ring light broke, so I'm
Mike.
using blue tack.
Mike,
Lower.
Oh,
away from the mouth.
sorry. I'm using
Okay.
blue tack, as you can see, to hold it up. So it
Oh.
fell.
Interesting. Okay. So
Liam?
Well, we did actually on Twitter. We got our previous guest host Matt did ask us
Oh,
a
yeah.
question.
he asked us a question.
Well, he just said, "I don't know. Did you not like? Because you obviously
he didn't like it. Yeah,
replied
yeah,
saying, did you not like?" And he was like, "I don't know. I have problems with the third act. I feel like it was a little bait and switch from the trailer. I was expecting her to get revenge on the would-be rapists. Instead, she gives them a talking to. A little bit let down. That emoji. For me, not let down,
No.
because I think in the
That
real
trauma will
world,
stick with them forever.
exactly,
Oh,
this is trying to
yeah.
go for realism, not, as I said, not fantasy and science fiction, as I've obviously said with the whole thing in response to Ben's video going out to the wedding.
Thing.
I think having her getting revenge in what, like chopping off a willy or
It's not
cutting
meant
them
to be
or
revenge fantasy
killing them,
or like
yes,
torture
puts-
porn.
that puts it into torture porn, revenge porn, fantasy land.
It's not meant to be that.
That's not real life.
Yeah.
This is a hard-hitting look at repercussions of
Trauma.
trauma, and that's I don't feel like it was ever advertised like that either.
Yeah.
And even if it was, like,
So, but yes, so no, I think we can all agree here. We do not agree with that.
Yeah.
Only because that takes it away from the actual
reality.
meaning and the reality of the situation, which unfortunately is a very real and traumatic issue within society, and it needs a film like this to shine a spotlight that doesn't talk down to victims.
Yeah.
And it doesn't talk down to victims, but it also doesn't glamorize the culprits. So it doesn't put the victim down, it doesn't talk down to the victim, but it also doesn't lift the perpetrator up, or it doesn't, try to think of the words, it doesn't
say that this is a good idea, like,
yes, but
because Cassie, she died, she died trying to do this, but she's still, justice was still served. So that's like, it's a commentary on this is kind of, it points out this is what's wrong with the system. This is what needs to change.
yes,
This is obviously horrible, but then it's like, it is a movie, don't obviously do this. And I think they walk the line perfectly of showing what needs to be done now, but also warning, saying this shouldn't have to be done. Let's change this going forward. It's perfect.
yeah.
Had it
because-
been no, go ahead.
Just really quick, because we didn't touch on it. It's not just that what happened to Nina happened. We also know that Nina died, and we can assume that it was suicide. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
So like,
it's never said, but it's hinted.
But yeah, so I feel like, and no, listen, Matt's a great guy. No disrespect to him, but I feel like
We love
as
Matt.
a
Yeah,
fan-
he's great.
as a fan of like the sequel trilogy in general, people need to check their expectations at the door and just watch the movie that's presented. Stop thinking about the trailers, what you think the movie's going to be about, and just watch the movie that it is. Because I feel like expectation is ruining the conversation of movie going in the current day and age. Every movie,
Except Wonder Woman 84, that movie sucked.
but even then,
Expectations regardless.
Lower
like-
your microphone.
But even then, like, people were expecting something, waiting a year for this movie, and then it became this crazy thing. Whether it's a good movie or not, we've had that conversation. Expectation definitely factored into Wonder Woman 1984 and the reception. I'm just saying, expectation, I think, is one of the worst things to happen to a movie, because it's not a filmmaker's fault what you go into the theater thinking it will be. That's not Emerald Fennell's fault.
No, but it is Patty Jenkins' fault. That's all
Lower
I'm
your
saying.
microphone.
Okay. So
Lowered
Antony,
all the way.
anything else you want to say, or you? Is it
Yeah.
right?
I have one more thing.
Everyone watch this movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yes, Ben go, and then I'll go, and then we leave.
After watching the film, I truly believe Emerald Fennell, like, near Tarantino levels of handling this really big subject with such finesse and taste, but also adding genre elements. I think that is very much inspired through him, but very much her own thing. When it comes to the awards conversation of this movie, I think it should win Best Picture. But I think it could be, she could even be a Tarantino in herself, where it's like, it takes a while for her and her films to truly be recognized. You know, like Reservoir Dogs, I don't think that got any nominations. If it did, it was very small. Pulp Fiction got screenplay. It didn't win Best Picture. Obviously, looking back, people would change that. You know, it took a while for Tarantino to truly be recognized and to become a legendary filmmaker. I think that this film will be like Get Out, but I think it'll get one or two. It has an outside shot at maybe winning, but I think the more she works, I think if she is as talented as I think we all think she is, she will be historic. And I can't wait to see what she does next. I'm calling it, she's the new Tarantino, but she's not Tarantino. She's Emerald Fennell, and she's here to stay.
I love that.
That's all I gotta say.
That is, I'm gonna steal that, Ben, because that's brilliant. She is the female Tarantino.
Yeah.
But like the female gaze looking at movies, but to Tarantino. That's brilliant.
Less foot fetishy.
Didn't see Carrie Mulligan's feet. Didn't need to see her feet.
Yes. To kind of, first of all, to Liam, to respond to like what Matt said, I think had it been kind of the revenge porn type of film, you don't get as much satisfaction as you do in this film when you finally see justice. You know what I mean? Like that last text message, I think everybody was like, oh my God. And everybody was just jaw on the floor. But had it just been her slashing through guys, it would have been like, yeah, that's fun. But I don't think it would have stuck as well. As for the awards part of the film, I think that this is probably going to be a front runner because having movies as screeners, especially with the types of movies that came out this year, I think it's going to be hard for some people with so many distractions to actually get through a lot of these movies. You know, like, because if you're in a theater, you kind of, that's all you're thinking about. But when you're watching it on your laptop and you can, you know, switch tabs, you have your phone next to you, you know, whatever. I think this is the only movie that really grabs your attention for the entirety of the film.
I'll back
Promising
you up
Young
on
Woman, just one thing, Promising Young Woman. I had it available to stream. It's the only film I can remember in 2020 I did not pause or go to the bathroom for.
Yes.
I had to go to the bathroom for like the last 40 minutes, but I didn't want to pause it. I didn't want to move, and I didn't.
Same. I'll just quickly, obviously, on the what Yousef was saying, like the distractions. Obviously, as I said earlier, we had that little group chat what we set up so that we could discuss spoilers as it was ongoing. From Toxic starting, I was literally hating the fact I was having to pick up my phone to speak to them because I did not want to take my eyes off what was happening. So I literally screamed about Toxic, then said, "Oh God, no! Don't make me hate Schmidt," and then just went silent until the scene where they're actually burning her, and all I said was, "Oh my God, what a beautiful shot." And it was the shot where at the very end of that scene where it pulls right the way back and it just looks like this beautiful mountainscape, but then you just small in the middle and you just see the fire, and I was just like, that's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
The thing that I didn't like about that was because you guys were a little bit ahead of me, and I was confused when you sent that text.
Yeah, you were real behind.
I had to put my ice cream away. I had to put my ice cream away because it was melting and it was turning into a puddle, and Hannah wouldn't help me because she's a bitch. Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Yousef, I want to agree. I hope you're right. I just don't know if the old men contingent of the Academy will like this movie as much as the rest of us.
The old men contingent of the Academy can't even turn on their laptop, so I don't think we have to worry about them.
I think, as I said, I think it could be Get Out. I think Carrie Mulligan definitely going to get nominated. Director could be nominated. Could have a chance at winning screenplay. I can see it that. I think it's kind of a weak category a little bit. There's some locks, but at the same time, there's some wiggle room. Like Regina King is going down at the moment. Aaron Sorkin is going down at the moment. Like, obviously we think now, but things change. Currently, she's going down. Lee Isaac Chung and for Minari, and that guy and her is rising.
I think Sorkin was going down, but because of the unfortunate thing that happened at the U.S. Capitol, I think it's going back up because of that.
Not for director.
Not for the
director.
Screenplay.
I think, yeah, screenplay 100%. I think Trial of the Chicago 7 will win. I think this will be nominated, though. I don't think Emerald Fennell will get Best Director. I think this is a lock for production design because it was gorgeous. I think costume and hairstyle. I mean, look at the thing behind Liam. Like, that is amazing.
Iconic.
Yeah. I think
that should be every
Best
Halloween
Actress,
costume.
Carrie Mulligan is going to win.
Chips behind Best Actress. They need
100%.
to campaign her for that. Listen, I love Emerald Fennell. I think it should win Best Picture, but logistically, the best thing they have the best shot at them winning a big category is actress. They can do it, and they need to push her. And if they do it, it's possible.
But even
after
things
this
like
film's
I can
release,
see cinematography, and I can also see Best Picture, and Best Editing, Best Sound, Best Score. I see all of those. I just don't see Best Director. And by the way, I'm really upset that we didn't nominate it for anything because
I am foaming with ourselves.
Like I said the other day, we can just change all of our Wonder Woman 1984 ones.
Could we please?
Promising Young Woman.
Visual effects.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially.
It made Allison Brie unlikable. That's a visual effect.
I mean, to be fair, if the five of us, we all get 2 votes, and if we just wrote in like Carrie Mulligan, it could get enough to win.
Could we please?
Well, we are too late now. Okay, I'm just gonna wrap up. So yeah, I think this movie is really good. I think it's perfect. Everybody watch it. I think the rollout was perfect. It was just a really, really good film. And Emerald Fennell, I'm really excited to see where she goes. She's clearly very talented. She did her research. I really want her to direct Gotham City Sirens, and I really hope Margot Robbie's ego doesn't get in the way. But yeah, that's all I'll say. Let's wrap her up.
Yes, agreed.
Yay!
Watch this movie.
Everyone, please watch. Everyone.
And tell all your old industry insider grandfathers to vote for it for Best Picture.
I will say,
okay, but
I've never seen so many questions. Okay. Hold on. First of all, we need to do a proper outro. So Ben, I'm gonna give you some time to figure out what you want to say. But I've never seen so many questions in a Q&A than for this one. There was like hundreds and hundreds of questions in that little Q&A box. Usually there's like 4 or 5. So people are interested in this movie. So don't sleep on this film. Okay, let's go.
Well, everyone, that is our thoughts, our review, spoiler, non-spoiler, of Promising Young Woman. This film is pretty much becoming a lightning round of conversation out of the gate. It's going really strongly, so we all encourage you to watch it. We encourage you to tell a friend to watch it, and we hope you enjoyed as much as we did. Thank you for watching. We hope you subscribe. We hope you like this video, and we hope you check out The Council Pod on Twitter and on Instagram, and listen to our podcast. We have some interesting stuff to say. We review all types of stuff. We interview directors. We're interesting people. You should watch our stuff. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time when we talk all things movies.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh hey, thanks for watching. And remember, full episodes are available wherever you get your podcasts.
With new episodes Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, links in the description box.
And be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to stay caught up to date with The Council.
Boys, I'm excited.